Good morning, everyone. This is Fist to Your Doom, here for my draft analysis for... Shit, what does this stand for? The All-Star Showdown League. I knew I was gonna forget that. I should double check before I started. But fuck it, we ball. This is our first season in the league. Got a cool group of guys trying to branch out and have some fun with Wi-Fi. So I figured I'd hop in with them. For the draft, as you can see on your screen, thank you for the slides you guys provided to me, by the way. We got 9th, which was a real shame because they allowed Darkrai, and I really want to try Darkrai to see if it's actually busted or not in Paldea Deck's draft. I'm not convinced either way yet. But it's never, ever going to fall at 9th pick. So I did, however, have my eyes on Garchomp, because for some reason they said, yeah, let's let Garchomp Terra. That sounds like a good idea. And it's a broken mon to begin with, and then just giving it that versatility and offense pushes it over the top. So that's what I was planning to get with my first round pick. But for some reason, the best mon on the draft board fell to me at 9th pick. The mon that I think should be banned, and also the mon that I think is better than Darkrai, even though everybody seems to allow it still. Chen Pao is our first overall pick. As you can see on the right, there is some questionable choices that got taken before Chen Pao. But we don't question it, we enjoy it. Chen Pao, he's a funny guy, right? So here's what he does. He clicks button, he kill. That's it. That's all you really need to do anyways. If you kill the other Pokemon before they kill your Pokemon, that's how you win the video game. And that's how brain dead easy it is to use Chen Pao. Just click the right button, be choice banned every week, or maybe even Swords Dance if you're feeling a little saucy, and kill everything in sight. Yeah, that's all you need to know there. Second pick, I was just as excited, if not a little more excited about this one. We ended up getting the Garchomp still. Now, I don't know why, but I guess nobody else was on the same page as me that Terra Garchomp's broken, so I have Terra Garchomp. For our Terramons, we had 25 points to pick 2 to 3 Mons, and we picked 1 stab type and 1 non-stab type on each of those Mons. So of course, Terra Ground, Earthquake's one of, if not the best offensive moves in the game. Just boost it up, lessen our weaknesses, always a good choice. And then I was really torn between Terra Fire and Terra Steel on this guy. And Terra Fire just, it lets us break through some of the mons that do well into Garchomp. So I said, fuck it, and I took Terra Fire. Screw you, Corviknight. You are not going to bully my friend here, Garchomp. You are going to get blown the fuck up and put in your place like the dumb, stupid bird you are. Give everyone a Tickaton so Corv gets bullied out of existence. He's just an obnoxious fellow. But now that we have 2 of the best breakers in the game, very physically offensive. Of course, Chomp can go special in some matchups, but it's not ideal for him to be clicking Dracos. And we really wanted to pivot to get these guys in safely. Chomp's got really good bulk. It's a very strong, bulky offense mon, but a lot of weeks we're going to want this to be the win con and stay healthy for as long as possible. You know what's really good at pivoting in mons? One of the best mons in draft. That has been for a very long time, Zapdos. It is a special breaker like no other. Electric Flying is just a broken type combo, very balanced stats. and he will be able to pivot in all our best buddies here on the top of the draft, as well as just wall the shit out of so many mons with that great type combo. Static is, of course, a fair and balanced ability, as we all know. No one has ever been cheesed out of a game with that bullshit. I mean, what? I didn't say anything. But, it is in my top 5 favorite mons to use in draft. Sure, it lost defog, but defog's for bitches anyways. We'll just click the fucking offensive buttons with Zapdos, and click the pivot buttons, and have a good time with them. In round 4, we snatched up one of the best spinners that we have available. I did just say removal is for bitches, but you gotta have it just so people are a little more afraid to click hazards. And also, our guy here, Quaquaval, is one of the scariest snowball threats in the format. We were limited to only drafting 3 mons at 15 points and above, so when I saw this little guy here was 14, quick snag. Easy choice. It's one of my favorite mons to come out of Paldea. It's more than capable of running bulky sets, and now in the DLC, it's gotten access to a bunch of extra tools. It got knockoff, it got flip turn, it can really just do a little bit of everything. Jack of all trades, master of cleaning your fucking clock with Aqua Step, because an 80 power move that boosts speed paired with Moxie, broken. Just fucking broken. But I assume we're going to see a lot of snowballs with this little guy. And in round 5, we picked up Hatterene. Now, initially I took Hat because I was going to make it a Terra Captain. As you can see, I didn't end up doing that. But it is a great bulky fairy, even though it loses some of the utility that fairies have by being a dual psychic type, but that's okay. Can do a lot of shenanigans between Nuzzle, Trick Room, Calm Mind setup threats with Draining Kiss, and Stored Power, and it's overall just a really obnoxious mon. Help deter those hazards with the Magic Bounce to help support the Chen Pao, and overall just bonk a lot of bitches, or maybe even take some hits. It's got Baton Pass if we want it to be a slow pivot just to get the other guys in, but I doubt I really run it like that in this season just because that's lame and boring, and we're here to click buttons and have fun and kill things with Chen Pao, so maybe next season it'll be banned. And Darkrai won't, just so we can point and laugh at Darkrai for falling off from a top tier Uber to a mid top tier Draftmon. Round 6, we took the one and only Decky Dewey, except for the other Decky Dewey, but he doesn't count. He's not as cool, because he's not dead, like this guy is. Got that grass ghost typing that Game Freak seems to have a hard-on for, but this guy, he's the OG. He's the one. He clicks the defog button, which again, bitch move, who needs it? But it checked a box for the team. Good ground resist to go along with Zapdos. We were looking a little weak to it. It fits our speed tiers well, and this guy has a little bit of everything. It's got Plot and Swords Dance. It's still got Roost, even though everything in Paldea seems to have forgotten how to relax. And overall, it's a mon that can be very bad if you don't cook a little bit with it. But if you cook properly with it and you don't burn the fucking house down in the process, it can put in a lot of work. So I think that's going to be what we do with it this season. We're going to clap some cheeks with Mr. Decky Dewey. Round 7, we start getting into our lower tier mons. We picked up Ursaring in 5 points. Now this guy, with the introduction of Ursaluna, got massively buffed. Now he can hold that Eviolite. He is one fat motherfucker. And of course, he's still strong as shit. So I ended up deciding to make this my Terra over Hatterene. It felt like having that threat of switching its resistances around with the fairy type would be more valuable than doing it with Hatterene. I feel like probably 7 out of the 9 weeks. I think it's 9 weeks at least. we're gonna have Ursaring, not Ursaring, Garchomp Terraing instead of Ursaring. But if Ursaring comes, having the threat of that Terra Fairy will add in some mind games on if they're gonna try to blow us up with a fighting move or not. So overall, I think that's gonna bring more value than the hat having the Terra Fairy option. And of course, we could decide to be a setup set on this little lad and just absolutely fuck everybody up. He's still got guts, he's still got quick feet, he can do a little bit of everything, but mostly this gen, he's gonna be in that bulkier supportive role, maybe some rest talk sets, maybe just some 3 or 4 attack sets that are bulk invested. He's got Swords Dance too. He can just do a little bit of everything. The bear is him this gen, especially at 5 points. Can add a lot more value than pretty much everything else that was sitting in that tier with him. And up next for round 8, we've got Volcanion. Now this was one I really hadn't thought about until it was recommended to me. It does kind of fill some gaps here, gives us a good Scarfer, doubles up on the 70 speed tier, but that doesn't really matter. Decidueye's got priority anyways. And most importantly, it helps check the fairy types that, as you can see, kind of fuck me like a cheap whore in a motel. Just took me to town and back. But now we've got a really good check to them. A lot of fairies in Paldea just have nothing to be able to try to chip through Volcanion. So this guy, he's going to be coming and making some bitches sad. Maybe getting some steam eruption burns, because, of course, hot water always helps. And overall, it's another mod that we can get some cooking done with. People never think about it, but it does have that potential to be a physically offensive mod, even though it's got that massive special attack stat. Can always get some flame charge shenanigans going, maybe some weakness policy sets along with that. Just a lot of potential here. Definitely filled a big weakness the team had, so overall, very happy with the choice. Shout out to Peyton for helping me out with that. Up next, we are starting to really scrape the bottom of the barrel here. But at the bottom of the barrel, we found an absolute king. We have Swalot here for 2 points. He got the glow up of the century this gen. He got a massive amount of moves added to his pool, and instead of being useless and forgettable, now he's slightly useful and forgettable. He's got Swords Dance, he's got T-Spikes, he can soak up T-Spikes in case we ever really have a matchup where we're worried about those, but I don't really see that happening here. But, just in case, it comes in handy. And overall, it's just a guy I want to draft. Always helps having a decent poison type, especially when it's only 2 points. And maybe he'll come to a game and click some buttons, surprisingly clap some cheeks. It's always the goal when you're bringing a low tier, is just to T-pose and put someone in their fucking place with something that is normally called a shitter. Speaking of things that are normally called a shitter, round 10, we have the GOAT, Grumpig. Now, it may have been 20 years since he was last viable competitively, back in the days of ADV, where he has a slight, cannot emphasize enough, slight niche. But now, he got a couple move pool buffs in Paldea. Got stuff like Earth Power, he got Nasty Plot, and of course, we give him the Terra. It was between Swalot and Grumpig for the last slot on the Terra budget, and I've just always loved this little guy. I want to give him a chance. We might just be planning some devious things with this little guy, clicking the Nasty Plot button. Might pull up against a team where they're looking mighty Psychic weak, if we can just Terra Psychic and spam some buttons. But overall, he's gonna strike fear in the team builder on the bottom of the team. And that's all that really matters at the end of the day. Scaring the ever-loving shit out of our opponent with the big pig, the GOAT, Gonna try to make a game happen with him, but we'll see how that actually goes. And last up, we have the king of low tier steals, the Copa Raja. This is always my go-to when I go, oh no, I have not drafted a steel type, and I am weak to the things that steel types resist. So he is here, he is him. He'll do the damn thing. He'll get a couple kills, come to a couple games. Overall, it's more so a filler pick. Really helps having the extra stealth rocks here because I don't want to have Garchomp forced into it. At least not often. But he does exactly what you pay for with him. He's got good bulk, insane HP, but his defenses are just mid at best. And he'll eat some hits, smack some bitches up along the way, and get the job done. Overall, very, very happy with my draft. Shout out to the 8 of you that let me get Chen Pao. I've really been wanting to have it in a Wi-Fi league, but I haven't gotten first pick yet, and apparently 9th is all you need when people are just trying to have fun. And who has fun when instead you can try hard in the draft and then make the sets the funny part of your game plan? Because that's what we're here for. We click the funny button, we win the game, we kill the thing. GG to everyone I am about to play against, because this team's cracked. You're gonna lose. And this is going to be redacted when I do lose a game, but surely that won't happen, right? Right, guys? Right?